This edition of One Play Wednesday is first and foremost going to focus on Keaton Mitchell's third quarter touchdown run to pull the Ravens within 19-14 on Thanksgiving night. Of course, Mitchell's first touchdown scored in the NFL since 2023. In addition, compare and contrast his score with Derrick Henry's 28-yard touchdown run on a toss play on the Ravens' first possession. In addition, talk about a potentially new formation that Todd Monken is showing that I think I'd like to see more of. So we're going to do this in reverse and talk about Keaton Mitchell's touchdown first. This is after a flurry of turnovers in the first half, bad offensive line play, miscues, 2 scores called back or 1 score called back in the case of Zay Flowers, and then Isaiah Likely fumbling at the goal line. This is the culmination of a 7-play drive in the third quarter that the Ravens made look easy, and I think they really set this up. It's an incredible play, if you ask me, from a execution standpoint. First of all, Rosengarten is immediately going to release up to the frontside inside linebacker, number 49. Keaton Mitchell is going to kind of take a counter step, and that counter step will make a whole lot of sense once you see the Derrick Henry touchdown here in a moment. It'll be the second play that we show. Voorhees is going to pull into the boundary, so away from the step, away from the intended action of the play. But initially, Keaton Mitchell is stepping in the same direction as Voorhees. And watch what that does to 42's eyes and how we're able to get these guys outflanked to the field because of Keaton Mitchell's speed, number 1, and number 2, the blocking scheme. I think it's pretty obvious Todd Monken needs more of this. I mean, he could save your job, basically. Keaton Mitchell's the kind of guy that in the last 5 games of the year, it's not hyperbolic to say he could score 3 or 4 touchdowns if you give him the requisite number of touches. So 42 is stepping both with Voorhees, but you can see his eyes are actually on Keaton Mitchell as well. So you'll be able to see his eyes for a moment. First, low beams on Voorhees, and then he gets his eyes to the running back. Because of the counter step, we're talking about this right here, 42 is going to continue to step after I unpause this, but he's reacting to what Keaton Mitchell did. And then as a result of the way we block this with Rosengarten getting up to that frontside inside linebacker, number 1, and number 2, because of the counter step and because of Voorhees moving and pulling to the into the boundary, our left-hand side of the screen, that inside linebacker is totally outflanked. It allows Tyler Linderbaum to get out in front of him. I'm not exactly sure what to make of what Zay Flowers did over here. Sometimes you get guys that finish off a block when a player was tripping, and you try to put it on their highlight reel and make it not be as obvious, but this just looked like a total ass-whipping. Really a well-designed play, in my opinion, especially in light of the way that the Ravens got the first touchdown on the board with Derrick Henry. To this point, like I said, 3 turnovers in the first half, one of which was inside our 5-yard line that fortunately the defense was able to finish off a goal line stand and keep the Bengals from scoring at all. The Likely fumble at the goal line or just before, and then the touchdown to Zay Flowers that got called back. This is the same play from the all-22 angle. So when I say it's a new formation, we've used it before. This was, I think, 6 or 7 iterations in this game. So I'll call it twin slot. You could almost call it twin wing, but really a wing would be these 2 guys inverted. The outside receiver, Andrews, off the line, and the inside receiver, Likely, on. But the reason why we would call it twin slot is this is the twin side, this is the slot side. The terminology that I used or learned, and the system that I ended up using from a former college coach was splitting the field in half. Twin slot, twin to the top side, slot to the bottom. Because of the action of Voorhees pulling, in addition, Likely is moving to the boundary as well. Both of those guys are going to occupy the boundary side safety and the boundary side inside linebacker, basically removing those guys from potentially pursuing the ball to the field. Both inside linebackers get blocked here. It's very similar, if you ask me, to the way that we block wham trap. The only difference, wham trap is a downhill run concept, and we're usually getting Linderbaum and Stanley directly up to the linebacker level. When I say this is conceptually similar, obviously that's a downhill play. This is a counter toss or counter pitch. But it's the way that we're assigning linemen, Rosengarten and Linderbaum, to get up to the second level immediately. That's where I see the similarities here. Mitchell is outrunning the defensive end, 99, number 1. Flowers has, KO'd this defensive back completely. It looked like he caught him a little bit off guard. I'm talking about this defensive back, possibly recognizing that it's a toss play coming his way And it looks like Flowers just gets to him a little sooner than that DB expects, plants him into the ground, and Keaton Mitchell sneaks all the way in, I think 23 yards out, something like that, gets us to within 19-14 on a night where the offense really struggled to demonstrate consistency, be able to block the Bengals front, and certainly, not do a great job in pass pro generally. So I did these in reverse order, showed Keaton's touchdown first, and now we'll go back to Derrick Henry's, which culminates the first possession. Again, it's twin slot, so you can see this time we've got Ricard as the slot or the inside number 2 receiver. Andrews once again up on the line. Twins to the bottom side of the field. Why do I like this, first of all? This setup, because it forces you either from a base defense to go 3 over 2, or if you're playing a nickel, this would just either be a nickel DB. So generally when you're getting twins to the field, you're going to elicit a 3 over 2, and that can give you an advantage into the boundary. So this should look familiar, right? Other than Derrick Henry's, actually getting the football on the toss play. Voorhees pulled on the last play that I showed you, the touchdown to Mitchell. Likely also wrapped around to the outside into the boundary. Both of these plays emanate from the left hash as well. The only difference is Henry's not taking a counter step, right? He's actually getting the football. And a lot of things go on here. I think our backside guys, Falele and Rosengarten, I think they're working. And they're just trying to run these the backside defensive tackle and backside defensive end. Just trying to get them moving laterally such that they can't actually cross the line of scrimmage and run down the heels of the offensive line. We're trying to keep them in front of us. And they do not do a good job at all. I'm talking about the backside defensive tackle and the backside defensive end, B.J. Hill. I mean, they're literally right there, but they're not able to put a hand on Derrick Henry at all. Keep in mind this guy, 44, I'm going to backtrack this for a moment. He's the backside linebacker. I called him the Will because he's to the weak side, but he could be the Mike in their defensive structure. Most of the time when you get a situation where a player, a missed assignment, missed tackle, a loaf, something like that, you can oftentimes backtrack it to alignment issues pre-snap. So let's pull this back, and this is the defender that I'm talking about. I think it's Demetrius Knight, but it could be wrong. So watch what's occurring as Lamar snaps the ball right now. He's looking at the number 2. He's really not ready to play football at all. And sure enough, he actually ends up going around Walker. You really want him with inside leverage to be able to stay to the inside of Walker as Walker moves in this direction. As a result, that makes him way too late to getting to Derrick Henry. Maybe it wouldn't have mattered anyway, but my point is, instead of his feet being here because of poor alignment and slow reaction, in addition bad angle, he could have been a little bit closer to possibly make this play, keep Derrick Henry out of the end zone. I'll give the same play from the end zone angle. That one, obviously, we answered their initial field goal on their first drive to take a 7-3 lead. Here's the slot side, like I said, and what I really like about this is, off screen to our left is where we have 2 receivers, 2 stand-ups, 2 athletes, the passing strength. Over here, into the boundary, we've clearly got our run strength. I like this formation. I hope we see more of it. Some play action, maybe some jet sweep stuff. The one thing I will say that I like about it the most, whether this is Ricard or Likely, since he's off the line, we can quickly motion him across, number 1, or we could run split zone. And what I mean when I say split zone is Henry initially flowing to one side and us crossing the heels of the offensive lineman. Basically, that would give the running back potentially a 2 or even a 3-way go in a split zone run concept. But you know what we get here? Look, on the last play, the counter step for a touchdown by Keaton Mitchell. Remember, Rosengarten immediately moved up to the second level, right? Because the play was going to our left-hand side of the screen, so he blocked the front side inside linebacker. Well, this time it's different. We still are getting the same scheme over here. Pull to the outside, pull and wrap or kick with Ricard, and then we're trying to basically pin down here with Andrews and 99. We just don't get it done. It's a total mismatch that's in the Bengals' favor, right? But we get that guy expanded enough such that Henry is able to run underneath of him. So I'm talking about 99. Even though 99 is winning here, obviously, against Andrews, from a physicality standpoint, Andrews just keeps running him. Ricard stays on, and this is the wall that Henry cuts off of right here. The backside 2 guys are Falele and Rosengarten. They're just trying to run laterally, make those defenders work to get involved in the play. Henry actually makes contact with 93. Those guys actually like bump into each other. No attempt to make a tackle. I don't know if 93 is being held or not. His posture seems to be broken, but in any case, there's 44 trying to pursue late. He's the guy that I spot shadowed or talked about to the field from an alignment standpoint and a readiness pre-snap. This is a great moment. It's a good scheme. Both of those, I'd like to see more advancement, a third, fourth, or even fifth conceptual play out of this formation. Twin slot with a tight two big bodies, blockers, potential blockers, into the boundary, two stand-ups, two receivers set to the field. A couple of the things that I really like about it, about the twin slot formation, it's 2x2, but all 2x2s are not the same, right? You've got run strength to the boundary, pass strength to the field, and we can mix and match guys as we wish to move them out there. You're going to force the defense to go 3/2 to the field, or if they're committed to playing man-to-man on a particular down, they're going to show you. They're going to walk the boundary side corner over to the field and lock up or play man on those two receivers. So I like that. We've established, at least in this game, the ability to attack outside on both of these plays that I showed you, right? The counter pitch to Keaton Mitchell for a touchdown in the third quarter, and then the pin pull toss to Henry that has really been made famous the last year plus by him and the Todd Monken offense that's into the boundary in the first quarter. A play-action boot should be coming. Perhaps a jet screen a jet sweep into the boundary with Flowers or someone like that. I'd like to see other guys than Flowers get those jet sweep calls, but I'm talking about basically the number 2 receiver to the field, motioning, running into the boundary behind those two big bodies, whether it's Ricard and Andrews, likely in Andrews, Ricard and Kolar, whatever. I like the outside tight end being on and the inside tight end or fullback again. In both of these iterations, it was likely or Ricard being off the line to potentially motion to the field, kick on a split zone concept, or even, bring back into the backfield. As far as Mitchell goes, man, it's an amazing story for him to get his first touchdown since 2023. I think he needs a bigger part of what we're doing. In my opinion, right now, we're wasting reps on Ali. Mitchell's far better than him overall. He's more dangerous. He's going to score. Mitchell, I don't know how many touches do you think Mitchell would need in a given season to score 10 touchdowns? Let's call it 150. I don't know that we would need 100, but let's call it 150. Call it 200 if you want. If Mitchell needs 200 touches or 150 to score 10 touchdowns, how many does Ali need? I think he needs 400. And I think probably 30 of them have got to be goal line touches. Basically, the talent differential, the talent gap between those two players is huge with the football in their hands. The reality is Derrick Henry is the best pass pro guy we've got on this roster ready to play right now of those three running backs. Granted, Ali was better last week than we expected. He's still not very good. Like, don't listen to liars that Ali's good in pass pro. He just happens to be better than Mitchell by, maybe 7%, maybe 10%, maybe 14%. Ali's not active, nor is he hostile. I just don't see it. I think Mitchell is a guy that we need to get the football to. I think he's a guy that could score 2 touchdowns in a game on 8 touches. I'm glad to see it happen here to get us to within 19-14. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get a stop. The Bengals go down and match us with a touchdown of their own on a 3rd and 9 when Iosivas, or however you say his name, is matched up with Roquan. We did a couple of videos on that one. You're more than welcome to check those out. EA, Edgar Allen, and I also recorded Inside the Coverage earlier Wednesday. I'll link that up here in the description if you guys are interested or willing to check it out. It basically focuses on 6 of the Ravens' coverage plays, some good, some bad, and some ugly, that all led to the 32-14 loss. Appreciate you guys' time, man. If you enjoyed the video, please let me know in the comment section, number 1. Number 2, if you think other Ravens fans would enjoy this exploration of Keaton Mitchell's first touchdown, as well as Derrick Henry's touchdown in the first quarter and the twin slot formation, then please consider grabbing a link to this video, sharing it out on social media to help this content get more reach.